Hello, welcome, I'm Defy Reality and this is episode 2 of our Fantasy EFL Challenge, and today we are revealing our teams. So without further ado, let's crack on with it. So before we get into the video, disclaimer, I am going to butcher names, so I do apologise in advance. I am the worst with names, it's just one of those things. So please don't hold it against me. Be kind in the comment sections if you're going to say something. But yes, I will butcher names and I'm openly admitting it before we crack on. So, goalkeepers. Wow. There is too many to choose from. And I think what I found, as what Random found as well, is when you have 3 leagues to go through, it's a vast volume of players. But when you're limited to 7 slots, it's mental. Like the teams you could build with 11 players plus substitutes would be amazing. Absolutely amazing, but it is 7 players, it is great fun, and hopefully we've got 2 competitive teams that can win us some points. So let's have a look. Who do we go with goalkeepers? Now, goalkeepers, there are so many choices. I mean, okay, so I'm not surprised at that. So Messler at Leeds for Randy. I think that's a solid choice, absolutely solid choice. I expect him to keep clean sheets. I've gone for Trafford from Burnley, and I've got to be honest, it was the finest of decisions. I was looking at Johansson at Stokes. I think he's a fantastic keeper. I was also looking at Palmer at West Bromwich Albion, because I think West Brom are going to be up there and I think he's going to have a lot of shots to contend with. Now, there is parts of his games that does concern me. And then my brain just sort of took over and thought, you know what, Trafford, you know, he's a good young goalkeeper. And I think he's going to keep a lot of clean sheets. Burnley are going to be up there in amongst it. And I think it was a risk to do it against Luton. But I think the Burnley-Luton game is going to be an absolute firecracker because both teams will want to put down their first marker. I expect it to be real attacking football from both teams. I don't expect either of them to sit back. So I'm hoping that Trafford will have a lot of saves to contend with. I think Messler against Portsmouth, Leeds against Portsmouth, let's be honest, we think that's a simple game for Leeds. No, not that there's any simple game in the Championship, by the way. We all know that it's the washing machine from hell. If you get stuck in that mid-table, your life is awful. But the division itself is so competitive. Like, it's uber competitive. It's fantastic to watch. Last season was just monumental. The amount of games I watched in the Championship was just fantastic. The football was great. The intensity, the excitement. And having 4 teams at the top of the table who could have won the Championship title on multiple occasions was just mind-boggling. But it's going to be a fantastic season. So yeah, I think we're pretty even on goalkeepers to begin with. So who have we gone for our first centre-back or defender? Okay, so I've played it a little bit safe, I think. So Frimpo, he's going to be obviously my attacking fullback. I expect him to get up and down the park. So I expect him to have goal opportunities, goal creation, and obviously nicking the ball off the opposition's wingers. So Ahmed, I'm not even going to attempt his name because I will butcher it. He'll probably pop up with a few goals. Also, he'll do well as a centre-back. So I understand that. I think I'm slightly ahead there. I have to admit, I'm slightly ahead in my head. Ampadu, interesting. I like that. I quite like that back two that he's gone for. I've gone for Raggett, and this one was quite an easy decision for me. So Steve Evans at Rotherham. Rotherham are going to be, he's renowned for clean sheets, likes it tight at the back. I think Rotherham was a no-brainer for me. I expect them to be in amongst it at the top of the table in League One. And with that, I expect Raggies to be getting a lot of clearances, a lot of interceptions, doing a proper job at the back and winning me a lot of points. And I expect Rotherham to be, like I say, up there and with clean sheets. So I'm quite happy with that. So the first midfielder, obviously you can probably slightly tell mine's, it's got an orange circle that you can probably just see. Yep, so I had Sarr, which, his goal and assist return for Norwich was fantastic last season. And now he plays for Galatasaray. So, yeah, I'm a little bit gutted. And I'm sort of stuck myself into a box. I don't know where to go, if I'm honest. Random's gone with Sammy Smolix. Super Sammy Smolix, by the way, which I totally understand. My only hesitation of not making the change before today, and when I say today, it is 5:30 a.m. Friday morning. I'm recording this before I go to work. It's the only time I've had all week to be able to get this out. So that's why we're doing it today. Hence why Random's not participating in the video, because again, it's just our schedules haven't aligned, which is just one of those things. So I get Sammy Smolix. I'd probably hold off putting Sammy in the team right to the last minute this evening before I watch the actual games, because coming out of Blackburn is that he'll probably be on the bench. We know that Ipswich have put a bid in for him, and the last one I read of was 8 million plus 2 million add-ons, and according to all the reports, the deal is still there to be done. It's still there. It's not insurmountable. Ipswich, yes, they are a little bit away from what Blackburn want. Blackburn at the same time have got to be careful because they need to bring some players in. They also need the money. So I think 8 million is not bad. I'm expecting it to rise to about 11 million with 2 to 3 with add-ons. And then I think Blackburn will go for it. But will Ipswich be willing to go that extra bit? And they've spent just over 60 million, I think Ipswich has spent so far. So it's an interesting one. I mean, I'd love to see Super Sammy Smolix playing in the Premier League. As a Colchester United fan, it'd just be phenomenal. I mean, I've watched him for years, it was a delight at Colchester. I mean, I'd love to have him back at Colu, but that's not going to happen. Anyway, digressing. So Sarah's my biggest concern. I do have options. So there's Bellingham at Sunderland, Brownhill, Dembele at Birmingham, Lee at Wrexham, Berry at Charlton, Byers at Vale, who I think is an interesting player. I think he could do some business for me in midfield for sure. And also I was looking at Teddy Bishop, and of course Colchester United went and signed Teddy Bishop, so I'm a bit hesitant to put Teddy in because I don't think he'll start on the weekend, which would be a shame. I don't honestly know, so I think I will leave my decision to the last minute on Saturday unless I go for a Sheffield United midfielder, but I think I'll leave it to the last minute on Saturday because there's so many good options in the centre of the park. So who do we go for our second players? Okay, that's a good one. All right, so O'Hare from Sheffield United. Yeah, I think this is a cracking decision. Let me know if you agree, because I think O'Hare's going to do a great job for Sheffield United. He's going to win the ball. He's got good ball distribution. I'm not going to say he's going to score and create a huge amount of goals, but I think he's going to do a lot in the centre of the park to win points from tackling, from interceptions, and from setting the play off. So I think that's a really good choice, and I'm not surprised that Random has gone with O'Hare. So yeah, I think we're pretty, as it stands, 5 players in. Random's ahead just because he's got Smolix and I've got Galatasaray. So who do we go for up front? Okay, Mullins. Okay, interesting. So Mullen at Wrexham. I understand the selection. I think that's an interesting one. I did ponder him, but I don't know. Again, there's so many choices, too many choices. Obviously, you've got Clark Harris at Rotherham, who I think is going to have a banger of a season. A shout out to the lower leagues version of Carlos Tevez Healy at Huddersfield. Oh my God, when that lad was at Colchester United, loved him to bits. He chased down everything. Phenomenal little player. I really do like him. Probably wouldn't select him, but a nice little shout out to another ex-Colchester United player. Then you've got Sims at Coventry, who, he's a good player. He's a good player. Then you've got Sargent at Norwich. You've got Kiefer Moore, Sheffield United. You've got Adebayo at Luton. And of course you've got, is it Late Lave? I'm going to call him LL because I can't pronounce his name and I'm going to butcher it, which I probably already have, so apologies for butchering another name. So there's some real great choices. For me, Alfie May was just a no-brainer. He scored a shed ton of goals with Charlton. Birmingham have come in. They've done a great piece of business for me. I think that's a great piece of business and I expect him to fire Birmingham back into the Championship with an absolute hatful of goals. And of course, being the first game at Reading, look, I don't want to see any team particularly lose, obviously, unless it's Southend or Man City, Liverpool. They're the sort of teams that I like and take pleasure in watching getting battered. Reading are having lots of problems on and off the park. And I think Birmingham are going to capitalise on that. And I expect Alfie May to score a hat-trick, which would be really nice. And I made him captain, which is a bonus. So, who did Randy go for his second striker? Fair play. So he's gone for Alfie May. And yes, and I went for LL at Middlesbrough. Late Lave. I'm just going to call him Leif. If I butchered it, I've butchered it. I think he's going to score a hatful of goals this season. I really do. I think he's a good, exciting player. And I expect Middlesbrough to be up there as well. So it's, I think 2 teams as they stand, really, really close neck and neck. It's going to come down to fine margins. Who's going to win week 1? Could it come down to the teams at the end of the day? So let's reveal the first team. So I went for Norwich City. Look, Norwich have got to put a marker down. They can't slip up against Oxford. I'm not saying that it's make or break. It's a 12-pointer. It's a 6-pointer. It's game of the season. But Norwich, if they want to make a push for promotion, they've got to have a good start, and I fully expect them to beat Oxford. I don't expect that to be too many problems. Randy's gone for Leeds against Portsmouth. Yeah, I agree with that one. I was close to using Leeds, but I think I'm going to, because you're limited to 5 times a season, I'm going to save my Leeds and look further down the line at certain fixtures to use Leeds, especially for the away games. So yeah, I get why he's gone for Leeds. And who do we both go for as our second choices? Okay, Birmingham City. So yeah, so he's getting on the bandwagon of the Reading financial issues on and off the park, expecting Birmingham to batter them. So I verbally get that. I went for Rotherham. Again, like Norwich, Rotherham need to lay a marker down, and I fully expect them to lay a marker down against Exeter and win. It's going to be an interesting season. It's an interesting first week selection. Unfortunately, we won't know what player I pick until the end of the month. So the way the series is going to work, we won't be doing this every single week. What we're going to do is at the end of the month, we're going to show you the teams that we used and how we done that week. So there's not too much content, and it's a little bit easier to manage. But yeah, they're the teams so far. Let us both know what you think of the teams in the comment section below. And who do you think will win week 1? Do you think it'll be myself, Defy Reality? Or do you think Random Geezer will win week 1 with his team? Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed that video. And until next time, we will catch you later.